Alright. Hey everyone, how is it going? Let me post the check-in link for you all. Alright, the check-in link is in chat for you all. Alright, I think I'll just wait a minute or two for everyone to trickle in. But how's everyone doing so far? Having a good time at Global Hack Week? Anything cool? Alright, so I think I can start now. People can just trickle in as they come. But welcome to part 2, the mobile app development series. So last time I'll show you all kind of where we left off and what we were doing. This time I'm going to kind of do what I mentioned before, which was kind of developing, in Flutter based on what you all want to see. Because, I have some stuff up here, but I also like to create something that you all are interested in. So feel free to put in the chat anything that you'd like to see, whether it's like a specific type of feature that you're having difficulty yourself implementing in a mobile app, stuff like that. Yeah. I'll go over what we were doing last time. First, we'll open up our emulator. Then let's run our code. Can briefly go over it again? Sure. Yeah, I'll be going over basically what we programmed last time, and I'm just going to do a quick review of the app itself as we left it. Just taking a second to build here. All right, so this is what we have so far. So basically we have, using the English words package, we have a random pair of 2 different words, and then we can scroll through a bunch of them. And then the one that we like, we can like them. And let's like a few things here. And the ones we liked, we can view in our favorites tab. So in our favorites tab, we can view all the ones that we favorite on. And along with that, if we switch our device to landscape, it auto resizes all of the elements. And if we switch it to portrait, boom, everything's auto resized again. What platform are you using for coding? Miss Partner 1? Yeah, no problem. So basically what we're using is we're using Flutter, we're using Dart, and we're using Android Studio. So I can quickly go over kind of what we had last time. So basically the framework we'll be using was Flutter. So Flutter is a app development framework by Google. And then Dart is the language that we're using. And then we'll be going over the crayon method and trying to figure out how to do it. Can you clarify what you mean by the crayon method? So again, that's Flutter, Dart, and Android Studio. And let me, someone's asking for the links, so let me put these in there so you can get that. And I've gone ahead and put those in chat for y'all, so you can download them if you don't have them already. All right, and I mentioned this at the beginning, but just to reiterate, I do have a few things prepared, but I also just want to make things that you all are interested in seeing. So part of kind of the direction this workshop is going to be taking is what kind of, I want to build something based off of what you all are interested in seeing. So if there's like a certain element to app development that you want to see me kind of do, or like a part of app development that you find confusing and you're not really sure how to wrap your head around it, put it in chat and then we can go over it together. Is it only for Android? Yeah, this is for Android. So basically, what we're using is Android Studio. The reason for that is that it has a lot of stuff for Flutter pre-built in. And also we have our Android emulator that we're using. So if I search Android SDK, we get this, which basically is a bunch of Android emulators. I'm using Tiramisu, which is API level 33, so it's the most up to date. So I would install that. And then under SDK tools, I would also install Android SDK command line tools, just because it's very useful to have. Yeah, just going into what we had last time. So first, of course, we have our imports. Well, actually, going over the file structure. Let's start with that. So the bulk of actually, where is it? Ah, there it is. It's be in project. So there's a few things going on here. There's the Android folder, which that's basically where all of your Android files are being stored. There's the lib folder, which lib is where we're going to be doing 99% of our work. There's the pubspec.yaml, which is basically where we list all of our dependencies. And I'd say pubspec and the lib folder are basically all you really need to worry about for the most part. And then main.dot is where we're doing the bulk of our programming. And then I'm considering kind of going into routing and kind of showing off how kind of viewing multiple screens kind of works. Could you share the code? Yeah, I can actually probably should have already done this, but I'll set up a GitHub repo for this. And let me also, I think it'll be good to show it, is so here, maybe GitHub link. Yep, I'm uploading all the code to GitHub right now, and I'm actually showing that just because some people might not necessarily know how to. Open up TMP. to my Global Hack Week January folder. Just make first commit there. Use git I think I need to see. So let me try. see, let's try. Let's see. Morning. Good morning to you too. Over here it's actually more towards the night, but you know, same thing. Yeah, right now we're basically just, I'm basically just setting up the GitHub repo for anyone who hasn't really done that before, and then we're going to be kind of going over the code that we had last time for the app that we created. A minute since I've done this, so let's try to do a git pull first. Try this. Says it. See, it says it failed to push some refs. Okay, it did it. Finally. Jeez. That took a while. But good from part 1. Alright, I just put the link, by the way. All right, so which folder has the code? Well, all of it is the code technically. I mean, most of the code that we're building is in the lib folder, but there's also different parts that need to be changed as well. For example, in the bin folder, there's the second domain that we needed to change, and I believe there's the pub spec that we also need to change. But I'd say the bulk of it is in the lib folder. Code I'm using right now. The one I have on screen right now is the main, which is in lib. Alright, so going into the code, of course we have our dependencies. We use English words, which gives us these pairings of words right here. And actually one thing I would kind of want to show off is Librew. So right now it's this kind of purplish color, but if we hot reload, boom, now we have a blue color. So that's something kind of cool. For Flutter, when it animates kind of changing between different values, it doesn't do it instantly. It kind of truncates between these midpoints in between them so that you get a nice little animation going on. So like you can do it with green as well, and it does the same kind of animation. So the first part is our stateless widget, which is basically the basis of our My app. So our title was Goal Hack Week January. We have our theme, which is just from material design. And then our actual page, the content of it is my homepage. And my homepage is a stateful widget, which means that it changes unlike the stateless widget. And that basically points to this right here. And this has quite a few things going on, but the bulk of it is the generator page, which generates the different words going on. And then the favorites page, which lists all of our words that we've favorited so far. And then we have one cool thing that you can actually do is, so for example, if I were to click on scaffold, if I want to center something, I can do wrap with center or wrap with column, wrap with row, all kinds of things by just clicking Alt Enter on Windows at least. Visual Studio Code has something like this, I believe, as well. And basically, you can kind of auto align certain elements like that and just kind of fill it in, but you don't have to like kind of do that all manually, which I find really nice. And we have our navigation rail, which is home and the favorites. So for the actual generator page, we basically are using icons from icons.favorite and icons.favorite underscore border. So it's border, and then it's just the full favorite icon. And that's again for material design. And then we basically have our big card, which is this right here. And our big card, we have it so that the box of it auto sizes. So, different words with different lengths make the box have different proportions. And then we are able to change our app state with toggle favorite, which is the like functionality. And this is also a cool thing. So for these words right here, I like that they're in lowercase, just personally. But I understand that for like screen readers and stuff like that, for screen readers, it's actually a lot better if you have things in Pascal case, just because it's a lot easier for them to read and make sense of what is actually being said and kind of translate that in speech. So what you can do to kind of have the best of both worlds is you can have it visually to where it's just using as lowercase because it looks nicer to me. But I can have the semantics label be in Pascal case so that the screen readers can still use it completely well. Then onto the favorites page. We have one message. Let me actually just start and restart just to show this off. How's everyone doing, by the way? Hopefully good. So if we go to favorites and we haven't favorited anything, it says no favorite yet. And then if we have favorited something, it basically shows that you have X number of favorites, and it gets that number based off of our app state, and then it has a list tile. And that's basically all we have. It's pretty simplistic, but honestly, I think it's really good and really useful just because, like I mentioned before, we also have this functionality where, boom, if you use if you put the device in landscape, it auto resizes all of these elements right here. Like you can see the navigation pane is a bit different. So if I do this, boom, it auto resizes all of those things once again. And so for the second part of this, the main thing I wanted to do is just kind of go over what you all want me to do. So what kind of apps and features that you're interested in kind of implementing. You know how to create an iOS app, please, using the same or different tools. Let me pull something up real quick. So the main reason I didn't go over iOS app development is because you basically have to use things that are proprietary to Mac devices, and I know a lot of people don't own Macs, so it's really hard for you to kind of develop things if you aren't using a Mac, because Apple, that's just how they do things, I guess. Yep, so I'd say the basics of it are Xcode and Swift UI. So Swift UI I would say is comparable to Flutter, and then Xcode I would say is comparable to Dart, which is the language. So you feel free to look into these things in your own time, but as I understand, these are mainly for Mac users. Windows, it's a lot harder to kind of get these to work. Oh, I forgot to add to the screen. My mistake. But yeah, I'm just interested in hearing what y'all want me to do in this. So we have around an hour left. So I'm interested in hearing what you all want me to do in this time. If it's building a particular feature, if it's learning how to do X, Y, or Z. Yeah, let me know in chat. Otherwise, one thing I kind of wanted to go into was routing. So routing is basically have you navigate between different screens in Flutter, and we can look at some implementations of that. So I think we can kind of go over this example right here. So using this as a baseline, can you share the link to the iOS app tool? Yeah, totally. Just give me a sec. See, Flutter can do iOS just instead of inserting a new project on Android Studio. That is true. One thing to note though is that you have to use Xcode, and Xcode is something that you can only use on Macs. So that's just one note there. But yeah, I put the links in the chat. Yeah, let's look at how these routes are built. Right, and then we have the on-press functionality, and we're using navigator.push for this, which basically pushes from the context, which is just the first initial route that we have, and then to second route. And what we can do, and it's actually very simple, is use navigator.pop. And that just makes us go back. So now let's try running routes instead of the main that we had before. Thanks. Yep, no problem. All right, just have to take a second to run. And boom, here, this is what we have. So now we have the elevate button, open route, boom. Now we're on second route. And we click go back, boom, we use navigator.pop. Navigator.pop lets us go back to where we were. So it's actually pretty easy. And this is kind of another way of achieving the same thing. So in this case, we have routes that have specific names. So when we go to our elevate button, instead of using the previous navigator method, we use navigator.pushNamed. And here it says push a named route onto the navigator that most tightly encloses given context. And route will be passed and push into the navigator. So we basically push into context and we use /2, which we already specified over here. And then on our second screen, all we have to do is, once again, we just use navigator.pop. And again, it does the same thing, but it's more useful, I would say, especially when you have to like navigate to a specific page multiple times. And you don't want to like kind of have to redo a bunch of code, you know? and implement this in kind of what we had before. Let's actually make our second screen. So we can basically use what we had last time. Let's see, what do we want this to do? It's a good question, because at the moment how we have our app is that we have our app, which allows you to like different word pairings and then look at your favorites. So unless anyone has any suggestions, let's go for let's call it sharing, because you might want to share those favorites that you have. Let's reopen our main dart. So if we go back to routes, we have let's try and implement this navigator.push named functionality. Instead of second, we have, yep, we do have second. So we have the navigate button, just doesn't do anything. Let's see what it says. Let me try hot reloading this again. All right. So on the generator page, button appears just like how I wanted it to. So I think that should be fine. Then the actual sharing. Oh, whoops. Let's see, I'm trying to implement this functionality. Oh, we only got like 30 minutes left for streaming, but that's fine. So I'm trying to implement this navigation functionality. The problem is, it doesn't do anything. Exception caught by gesture. Cannot find. Generates for browser search in the following order. Home property. Its routes table is used. So if this is fine, then it must be this is top with implementation right here. So where's initial route used here? Let me see actually what happens if instead of sharing, I just make it exactly like second screen. It's not constant. So maybe it's where this. So I think it should be my address, right? That way it can be a constant. I'll reload this. And actually try to just rerun again and see what that does, if anything. so let's look at this error. One that said it could not find a generator or something. Let's see. Using navigator.pushName, which we are, requires the routes that you put as the second parameter. Find the app runs property like this. Tries to find this map entry in the first parse route name to the argument that you call the route name. The second one is bridge constructor. Should be called /second. I feel like that's what I've done. Let me try my home page. Which doesn't have to be a constant. Try rerunning it, seeing what that does. And just quick note, we're going to be ending the stream around 15 minutes, just letting y'all know. Just a second. I may have to figure this out on next stream, actually. All right. So I'm actually going to have to end the stream a little bit early off here. Sorry about that. I'll make sure to figure this routing stuff out next time, though. But what I want y'all to think about in the meantime is so tomorrow I'm doing part 3, final part. And what I want you to do is think about things that you want to see me implement. So if there's a cool app you see, and you're like, oh, I really want to know how to do this in a mobile app, make a note of that and then bring it up next stream. And then we'll do it live. So thanks for all for coming, and I'll see y'all in part 3. See ya.